In the morning we built the city. In the afternoon walked through its streets. Evening saw us leaving. We wandered through our days as if they would never end. All of us imagined we had endless time to spend. We hardly saw the crossroads and small attention gave to landmarks on the journey from the cradle to the grave. Cradle to the grave.
Hi guys, right, welcome to Black Country History Hunter. If you were watching my story on Facebook yesterday, don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook channel, guys. It's a great group. You'd notice and you'd see that we're looking for a bunker. We didn't think we'd find it, guys. We looked everywhere, we cut our hands to bits. But you know what? We persevered, and at the very end, we'd nearly given up. We'd stopped, we was on the way out the trees. Burt looked in somewhere and he's like, Jay, come and look at this. I think he knew what it was. Bingo. Amazing. We found the corner, if you saw the story, guys. So the bunker was there for the school that was there. So the school was built in around 1880. And if you look at this picture here, you can see in the beginning it used to have really old-fashioned toilets right down the bottom. So they used to believe that toilets inside were unhygienic. So they put them at the bottom of the yard, which is why most of that playground was concreted off as well as it being for a playground. We believe now that the bunker itself would have gone under the playground. Around mid-1930s, when the Spanish Civil War started, we started to see the devastation happening by the bombing. So in around 1937, 1938, Chamberlain, the Prime Minister at the time, decided to instruct a man called John Anderson, to start looking into defence of the realm. So they basically start looking into bunkers. Now we come up with something called the Anderson shelter, which you see a picture of it here. You could buy it in all forms. If you earn less than £250 a week, you could get one for nothing. See a picture here of a street being delivered of them. But if you didn't earn that much money, you'd have to pay £7, which is equivalent to like 480 quid today, which is quite a bit of money. So yeah, so those who didn't buy them, you could buy double versions, family versions, deluxe versions, you know, all the different things. But it was there for the safety of the people. But schools, guys, especially schools that were near targets. Now, this is why this is such an interesting area. Other schools in the countryside had bunkers. They'd sometimes have what they call surface bunkers, which was like this picture here. We thought they had surface bunkers at the place we're going today, but we don't think they do now. The school we're going today, we think we had very big bunkers because of the fact it's right by Roundout, guys. We look here, right by Roundout, the proximity. So the bit we find, we believe maybe the entrance part to a much bigger complex, which we might not be able to get into today. We'll have a look, see if there's anything more to it. But what we're getting into today, what we know is there from when I was a kid. During the 90s, many people have commented on the Facebook group how they played there, they did their homework there, they skived off there, you know, and I used to go there. We used to play it with Burt and have a laugh up there. And my memory of it was bad, you know. We couldn't remember where it was and we'd lost it, and it goes in memory. In the last 20 years, kids don't play outside anymore, do they? So the paths towards this play area had gone. And it had been bricked up a little bit, but we think there's an opening in it. So we're going to go and see if the opening's still there today, and we're going to hopefully get in. We're going to get in today, we're going to do it. Definitely. So yeah, the bunkers had to be built because of the war, and hopefully we'll find that there was more to it, and there might be more. If you look at these pictures here, guys, all the schools in the area have got all these bunkers that are being uncovered under the playground. Perfect area to put them. So kids would have like a fire drill when the bombs went off. The sirens would go off. Kids would have to evacuate the school, walking, not running. Line up outside, have the names taken, then descend into the bunker or into the shelter or whatever it might be. A lot of kids were obviously as well evacuated, especially in London, some of the areas where the bombing was at its worst. But Roundout was a huge industrial steel complex. Gibbons' factory, huge, that was camouflaged during the war. These were targets, guys. Bombs dropped in the area. So these schools, one of the main things for the morale of the area was we had to keep kids at school. If kids didn't go to school, the moms didn't have the free care. Parents couldn't go to work, parents couldn't go into the war machine factories and make the munitions for the war, parents couldn't go to war, they had to stay home and look after the kids. So these schools had to be kept open, and one of the ways they did it was they built these bunkers. So today we're going to hopefully go up to this, we're going to do it, we're going to go to this bunker, we're going to get in, and we're going to see some amazing history. I didn't look at it through the eyes of history when I was a kid, we don't take no notice, do we? The school didn't shut till like 1970. There was two schools, like I say, up in Solihull. There was this school that was around the roundabout, which is also gone now, and you can see a beautiful picture of it here, which I've coloured, and that would have had its own bunker as well. And then there was this school which we're going to today. We've got no pictures of it, but here's an aerial photo from 1967. And you can see the school's still got its old structures. It's remained the same all through them years. But it was built in the mid-19th or late to mid-19th century. It had outside toilets. It's an exciting place. World War II. Let's go and have a look at it, guys. Follow us.
Let's go.
So yeah, guys, looking inside now, I am starting to think that this is actually a full teaching bunker. So I thought there was lots missing, and maybe some was built on the car park, because there was a building that went up just after the war, or just before the war, that you can see here. That stayed well after the school went, this building here. And I did believe that maybe all we had from the past when we used to come as kids was an entrance to a bigger complex. But actually, looking at the size of this now, the corridor and stuff, they could have easily held boys and girls in separate rooms, because it was a mixed school at the time, but there were separate boys and girls, as you can see here. Even the toilet at the bottom, you can see how they divided it, so the girls was one side, boys was the other. I don't know what age the boys were, but I'm sure if there was like 13, 14-year-old kids going there, I think it was like an academy secondary rather than primary, they would have been talking across the wall at the toilets, you know, or across the wall on the playground. Boys and girls always want to talk, don't they? Play kiss chase. Right, guys, I think, should we try again now? Because I think you took them layers out. Let me try again now, Bert. Right.
I'm trying to get that out.
Second attempt. I just tried and I couldn't get in because I was too fat. Let's try again. Legs in first.
Get in there now, man. Easy.
Turn your body round. And waffle yourself backwards. Say easy, Bert, but I'm a fatty.
Yeah, buddy bum bum.
Right, let's not forget, guys, 25 years nobody's been in here. Let's have a look what we've got. Oh God, what's that? Big ass spider pulling a shadow. Right, you follow me in, folks. Wow. We get down lots of rubble, and we're into the first corridor. Right, I used to think that it would be impossible. Wow, guys, you mean? Come in. It's impossible. I used to think it was impossible to be big enough for a school. That must have been where they come down. No, that's a funny entrance to have there. Right, so you've got to remember, kids would have been in here doing their homework, scared to death. There's rooms, guys. There's rooms, and this may be a toilet. I've heard that there would be a zinc bucket. I put a picture up there of the zinc buckets they would use for the toilets. Extensive damage there. There's some heavy machinery. Split that there. Damn. You in, Bert? Bert's in. Good man. And another section here. Again, white. Look at that on the wall there. Somebody's hooked up like a bicycle thing. I don't think that's original. Beautiful to be in here, guys. World War II. Bunker. It would have been part of an old school. This is where it would have been the entrance, I believe, where it's all blocked up, look. Rubble coming in. And, yeah, there's the top ledge. Oh, wow. How about that? You ain't going to believe this, Bert. You ain't going to believe this. Look at that. There's a way in. That must be in somebody's garden, though, so I'm not going to go up there. Look. That's the original steps into this bunker. It is huge, guys. Holly Hall. Look at that, though, Bert. Look at that wall there. Falling in. That wall's going to collapse in. Look there.
Up there?
Here, next to you. There's a way in, Bert.
Oh, me.
Well, all that for nothing. So, really, we ain't broke into anything. It's already there. There's that Dudley Brick Company logo. Dudley Brick Company. No, sorry. The London Brick Company. So that's in somebody's garden. And what's that one there? No, that's a different one. That's Baggeridge Brick. They would have used lots of different ones. But I know the London one, the London Brick Company, or LBC. You see on a lot of the bricks in the shelters. Brick companies. A lot of companies did well after the war, guys. You've got to remember that. You know, industrialists sold weapons. Brick companies sold bricks. Anderson Shelter people sold Anderson Shelters. But this was built for the express purpose of children. So a raid would go off, the siren would go off, they would come hurrying down here, and they would be lined, these corridors would be lined with benches all the way down either side. I can't see any remnants of paint, or you might say, there, it's that kind of line there, my foot. That looks like where there's been a piece of wood up against it and they've painted against the wood. So yeah, either side would have been lined with benches, or there wouldn't be no benches here, but in here again, benches. All in here benches. This might have been a separate room for girls. Who knows? For boys, I know it was separate, but in a raid, I don't think they'd have bothered too much. But there would have been an area for toilets, which I think this might have been it. Maybe some sort of curtain. Are they all Bagridge? Yes, this was built with Bagridge brick. So Bagridge would have supplied the brick. There's probably a record somewhere in the archives talking about the bricks. Look at that, guys, up there now, look. Size, huge cracks in the wall. So I wouldn't suggest coming out. Looks like this is ready to fall in, ready to collapse in. And when it does, the ceiling, the roof should support it anyway. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So yeah, the kids would have come in here. The toilets would have been horrific, I imagine. But yeah, here we are. After all this time, guys, we wanted to get in here for a long time and it's never happened. So, Holly Hall School bunker. And it brings back a bit of history of when the country was under attack. The children who were in here, you imagine what they were thinking. They were scared to death. You know, they don't know if they were going to be alive in the next hour. So for some kids, it was an adventure. There was other children that would have been scared to death. You know, and they weren't sure. Some would go home to homes destroyed, really close to Round Oak here. I've mentioned that, really close to Round Oak, which was a target for the Germans. Amazing place. Really. What's that there, Bert? You're looking up. What's up there? Oh wow, that's a hatch. That's a hatch. A solid concrete hatch. So that somebody broke into it, I believe, or it would have been a hatch. Maybe, I think they had to have an escape hatch, guys. These sort of places, that had to be a way in case it was, if the staircase got blocked in. Another thing is, you know, you've got all these bluffs. So, if a bomb fell through the roof here, the kids in this corridor would have been killed. But children in here would have been safe. And children up there on that place would have been safe. I think it would have been boys, that section, and girls section, and maybe the teachers and staff along the corridors. So you can imagine, sitting down on the floor, you could get a few kids in there, and they would have been in here for a few hours. There's an image here of children, you know, doing work in a bunker during World War II. Wow, guys, what can I say? We're in. Everybody on Facebook, we're in. We've wanted to come back here for a long time. Look at that match. There's somebody living there, look. Years ago, hiding from the police or whatever. Little bench there. What do you think, Al?
Pretty cool, isn't it?
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Is there any more of this, you know what I mean?
You mean there's more to it? Maybe there's... Is there any sign of new brickwork? That's definitely original, that little shelf there. That might be where they kept the book. Where they kept the book. Or the air raid siren, the clacker. Something like that on that shelf. So when the kids come in, they counted them in.
Where are the electrics?
Yes, there. They must have had electrics in there. Well spotted, Bert. Bert spotted the electrics working. An animal. Got an animal skull. Just wandered in and died. There we go. They often do that, don't they? Animals. They often wander in and die places. I'm surprised the badgers ain't living down here. It's a lovely little home, isn't it? For somebody or some animal. Well done on spotting the electrics, Bert. So it would have been electric. Often, though, they only had tilly lamps to light these sorts of places. But this being next to a school, and I think the money for this building would have had to come from Round Oak and the Metropolitan Borough, because the parents were doing saying, keep our children safe. Keep our children safe. And to do that, they would have to have built a bunker. Otherwise, they'd say, I ain't sending my kid to school. He's not going to be safe. So we understand that as another one of them. Look for the wires, Bert. Absolutely rusted away. But the electric's running across. Is there any signs of where the lights were? Like any screw holes? It would have been, it would have been a wall. Yeah, Bert spotted that, but they're the wires, aren't they? There would have been ceiling lights or wall lights, you think? You got something to do with the electrics? Okay. Oh, wow. What's that? Is that a gate? Is that like for a gate, maybe? Maybe this was a toilet area? Here, look, Bert. There. That's the light, look. Must be. Here. Oh, wow.
There's some big spiders.
Big spiders. What do you think, Bert? Happy days?
Yeah, man.
Happy days. It's what we live for. But really strong reinforced concrete. Yes. Another one there in the wall. That's paramount to that one. That's a pipe.
You look.
Yeah, that's for a pipe, look. That must have been a water. They would have had to have a water supply. Because they might have been in here for hours.
You know this what you want about?
Yes.
You know what that's for, do you?
Emergency escape.
That'd be what we do.
Yeah, maybe. Yes, and it would have been an emergency escape. We found more buildings like this further across, so there could have been two. Oh no, there would have been separate boys and girls. You wouldn't fit both in here. So I think the other one we found over there the other day, that's all broke up. We found a shelter, bits of wall and stuff, all broke up. The school was separate, so it must have had two shelters, two ways in. That's how much they were against mixing boys and girls back then. I wish this place was untouched and we found gas masks and stuff, but the reality is, during the 90s, kids played in here, we played in here, but we've not been back for a long time. And here we are, back in the bunker, guys. Thanks for watching, man. I really hope you enjoyed the look around. I know it's not a big video, it's not an extensive video. It's just one that we saw it yesterday, we found it yesterday, we filmed it today. Should be out in a few days for you. Thanks to all the subscribers, likers, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all of that, guys. Thank you. Really appreciate all your followers and stuff. And I hope you enjoyed the little bit of history about the place anyway. So yeah, that's it. I think there's not much more to show. It's a Holly Hall, bit of Holly Hall history in the Dudley area, part of the Black Country, guys. Be proud to be Black Country. I'm proud to be Black Country. Everybody should be proud. If you live in the Black Country, be proud of our past, be proud of our history. And, yeah. Easy to get out, guys.
Well.
Huh? No. In other words, no. Not too fast. It's like doing the whale dance.
Yeah, the worm.
The wiggly worm. We haven't, guys. We said we was going to come and do it. We've done it. Black Country History Hunter.
All bells in paradise, I heard them ring. Bits gold on the outside and silver within.